Okay, YouTubers, this is Joe from ArtAlienTV, another quick game of Interplanetary I Spy for all you pareidolia police and space detectives out there, from your friendly swamp gas consultant. Now, today we're looking at this set of images from Sol 677, Curiosity Rover. Link will be below for this page, and also this image here and all the other images. This is the one to look at. These were taken in 2014. And the part of the image to look at is this bit over here. Now, I've got these things in my folder. I'm going to try and be quick and succinct with this. There's a few things of interest to see here. In fact, let me show you it in here because I've got this up already. That's the thing I just showed you. It looks like an animal head. I don't know what sort of animal it is. Perhaps some of you out there might be able to help me with that. I don't know. But even in the raw image here, you can see a very clear eye just here. Right, with pupil detail, iris detail, and when you enhance it like I've done here, you can see it even more clearly just there, see? And we've got two nostrils, we've got one here and one here. We've got a mouth here with an upper lip, it seems, just here, and the head sort of goes right back up to here. We have some sort of ear at the back, like that, coming down, hanging down like that, with what looks like some sort of hair detail in it as well, you could just about make out. So that's interesting. Now, this looks to me a bit like some kind of bovine creature or something like that. You've got quite big nostrils on the snout here, but it may be some kind of boar or some kind of other creature, I don't know. So, answers on a postcard with that, if any of you have any ideas what that might be. Now, I also found this thing here. Now, I'll show you this. Now, I'll show you the raw clip in a second. Now, this has been enhanced. Now, this is really odd. Let me show you the raw clip in the folder. Where is it? There it is. Now, there it is. You can see a rather strange object. It looks like some kind of weird little carved figurine with an arm here and a little pipe sticking out. Now, let your eyes adjust. Let me zoom in a bit, let your eyes adjust to it. You can see that pipe there. Now I'll show you the enhanced clip. There we are, let me zoom in a bit. We have a rather strange pointed head, if that is a head. It may not be, of course. There's some weird detail at the bottom here. It comes right round like this. You've got what looks like a nose here. You've got what looks like possible eye socket here and another one here with some complex detail in it. This almost looks like a helmet here, this whole thing. And we've got an arm here coming round. There's a little arm and there's a hand just there, and the pipe comes round like that. See? It comes up to there and it looks like it goes into a mouth just here. Now, I don't know if you can see that. Let me undo all that. And we're going a bit closer. If you look carefully, there's a dark sort of bit just above this thing. Just there. So it looks like it's going into it. Now, is it possible that this is some kind of creature with a helmet? Or some kind of human, well, let's say human, some kind of Martian, right? Wearing some sort of breathing apparatus, with a sort of big helmet that covers its head and upper sort of shoulder area. Almost like a diving sort of suit or something. You know what I mean? Like a space suit. Weird. But you've got a nose here, what looks like a nose, and I don't quite understand this possible eye socket here because there's weird stuff going on inside it that looks kind of technical, like there's something going on inside there. See? We've got overlapping parts here. So this could be actually a mechanical object, not what I think it is at all. It could be, I don't know. I really don't know. This is very perplexing. This has been sitting on my desktop for quite some time now, and I don't know what it is, which is why I haven't published it. Because I didn't know what to call it, didn't really know what to say about it, but the pipe thing here to me is interesting either way. Whatever you think this is, whether it's a mechanical object or a little figurine with some weird sort of details. The pipe here, when you zoom in, you can actually see that it's got like a round part to it there. And it comes around like that. Okay, it goes under this, what could be a hand here, and then comes out the other side, like that. So there we are. I mean, and this looks like a sleeve, and an arm, and a shoulder coming round here, but there's some sort of weird detail here, which I don't quite understand as well. So there's some weird stuff going on here, and I don't really quite understand it, but this is Mars after all, and a lot of this stuff is weird. And of course, if we had a clearer image of the area, we'd be able to determine what this was a little bit more accurately. So there we are. That is one of the weirdest little finds ever, because not only does it look a bit like some kind of strange figurine wearing a helmet or something, but it is holding some kind of pipe. It's there. Or handle. It might be a handle of this. I mean, it could even be joined to this. Now this looks very vague here, but it looks like it might be joined to it, which may also be something to do with this thing. Now I don't know what that is. But it's got some weird little details in there. Don't know what it is. There's not enough clarity there, really, to tell what it is. So that was really weird. So we got that, and we've got another thing here from the same set of images, not the same image exactly. These are from the same set, so you have to look through the whole set. There's this. Now this is very odd. Now this looks like some kind of weird skull or carved effigy of something. It comes right round. It's a very odd shape. It has an eye here and an eye here, with even some brow ridge detail here. Right, you've got a nose here and possibly a mouth here or down here. I'm not really sure whether that's a mouth or not. Now this is really, really odd and looks very, very alien indeed, and I don't really understand it, to be honest. I'm just showing you what it is, and I'm not really sure about this at all, so don't shoot me down in flames for this one. I really don't know, but it seems to me that the head is broken and may have come around like that. This looks kind of all broken off here and irregular, so if this was a skull, this may have come up to there somewhere and then down like this to here. Okay, so that was really weird, and you can see there is some sort of nose detail here with like a strange looking snout and what looks like a lip or mouth detail there. This looks like the bottom of the chin. There's a kind of shadow there, so I'm not really sure about that, but that was really weird. I don't know what that represents. It looks like some kind of alien skull that's kind of broken. Very odd indeed, and it reminded me of this thing, which I also found, which I haven't shown before on the video. Now this is from a different sol. This is from Sol 50, much earlier. Now this goes to show you how extreme some of these skulls look on the surface of Mars. And we clearly have a humanoid type skull, or mummified head, I should say, because we still have a nose. If you look at the right hand side here, you see the nose clearly with nostrils, mouth, and if you look really carefully, you can see some teeth in here as well. There's not much teeth detail, but there is some. Not much, but it is there. You've got crinkled and shriveled skin on the surface here. You've got quite a clear eye socket there, and another one here that matches it. The nose is pretty clear, rather square looking. Lip detail, which is all craggy and shriveled, and you've got teeth showing through the lips, as you would expect on a mummified head. So the skin is thin and shriveled up, so most of the fat content and moisture content of the head would have gone, and what we have is basically a skull with skin on it. But look at the shape of it. Now, if this was a human skull, a normal human skull, like mine or yours, I'd imagine it would come round like this. Okay? But it doesn't. It goes right up here. And I would imagine, if this was intact, it would probably do this. Okay, and obviously some of it's obscured behind this detail here, so it probably would have come round to here, at least, or maybe even bigger, may have come right round like that. Now, how ridiculously large is that? It may have been more like this. That's probably more realistic, and sort of like that. But either way, this is a very extreme example of an elongated skull, much more elongated than the ones found in places like Peru, Nazca in Peru, and also around the world now. They're cropping up all over the place. Now, people have said on Earth that this is down to cranial binding, where you bind sort of leather straps around this. There are people that still do this in places like Central Africa. Some tribes still do it, but it doesn't explain the sheer size of this skull, and it doesn't really explain a lot of them on Earth either. It's just an excuse. But this would have to be, you imagine the cranial capacity of this thing. Now, a human brain would come up to sort of here and sort of around like that, okay? If that was a human. But the brain on this thing would have been massive. It would have come right up to here, like that. So something like 3 or 4 times the mass, maybe 5 times the actual mass of a human brain. Absolutely enormous. So this is an absolutely insane find, this one, and one of my favourites of recent years, actually, of this type. And it's one of over 100 similar kind of mummified heads and skulls that I found. There are literally hundreds of these things, but some of them are carved. This thing may be carved, I don't know. It's hard to say when you don't have a great deal of detail, but the fact that this still has nose and teeth detail like that, I would say this is a mummified head that is preserved in the cold, freezing conditions, and then is then desiccated and dried out and mummified. The sulphur in the soil and ground has helped preserve it, and it is a very, very good preservative, and also the lack of oxygen and moisture would have also helped. So we have a mummified head stroke skull here, which would have come around something like that, or perhaps around like that. Who's to know exactly? But it kind of matches some of the skulls that I've found elsewhere, which are very, very large. So if this is human size, which I think it is approximately, now this would be about 8 inches from here, from the chin to here. Okay, so that's sort of human scale. So it's double that in height. It would be something like double. So if that's 8 or 9, say that's 8 inches, that would be about 16, it'd be about 15 or 16 inches. Possibly 18. I mean, I don't know if this is exactly human size. It's probably a little bit bigger. I've got the actual folder here. Let's go to Sol 50. Let's dig this up for you. Let's try and work out some scale for it. There's some other weird things in here as well. Now, I've got it round. There it is. Now, that's what it looks like on the ground. Now, if you were just scanning across this area, you wouldn't know what that was. You think, oh, there's another rock. But a lot of these things aren't rocks, they're skulls. And there it is on the ground, and it's just lying on its back like that. And that gives you some context. But what you've got to do is turn it around like I did, like this. Here's the raw thing turned around. See where I've flipped it? And there it is. So how big is it? I would say this is very large. And also as Sol 50, you've got things like this, which looks like some kind of weird dead creature as well. Mummified head of a creature. You've got a mouth here, a nostril here, snout, obviously, an eye here, and the head comes back like that. No body, but there's lots of weird bones and things lying around on the ground. We've also got this rather strange thing here, which looks like some kind of weird carving or something, on like a plank of wood or something. There's like this weird kind of plank thing with very strange details in here, like a little arm sticking round. Very odd indeed. So there's a whole plethora of these things in the area, and Sol 50 is one of the best to look at. I can really recommend that. I'll put a link below to Sol 50. There's lots of gigapans of it as well, which you can flick through easily. So you don't have to download images, you can just look at the whole gigapan and scan around. There's loads and loads of weird stuff. I've showed this in a previous video, this thing here. let's go to that. This is also Sol 50, obviously. It's got this weird kind of white thing on it, and with these teeth at this end, these jagged sort of teeth. Now, what that white thing is, I have no idea. This could be some kind of fossil or something, like a marine fossil, like a shell of a creature. Who knows what that is? You've really got to keep your mind open with these things and just look at the images calmly and collectively and try and work out what you're looking at. There's also this really weird white thing, really odd. And there's not enough detail to tell what it is, but it's really odd and it stands out like a sore thumb in the area. I'll put clips of these in at the end. I mean, there's tons and tons of this stuff in Sol 50, and I don't really have time to go through the whole lot now. I will do another video showing all this stuff at some point, because I found loads of new things in Sol 50. Sol 50 is an absolute treasure trove of fossils and artifacts, mainly fossils and skulls and that kind of thing. But also some very strange artifacts lying around, like pottery and stuff. Another giant alien skull. Is it a giant? Not really. It's just very elongated, and if it wasn't elongated, this would be more like a human skull here. But this detail says otherwise, I'm afraid, and that means that there were some very strange looking characters on Mars, but there are also very strange people on Earth as well. And strange people in the past with huge elongated heads, and some of the people in ancient Egypt and in ancient Europe had them as well, not just in South America or Central America. The coneheads, I suppose, is what they were called, what they were known as, and they may represent a sort of ancient race that may have populated both Mars and Earth, and may be related. So there we are. So I'm going to call it a day on that. Clips coming up now. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you're all going to have a lovely Christmas period and holiday time coming up soon. I will be doing some more videos before Christmas, and hopefully be doing a big compilation video of all the finds, all the top finds of 2019. But that's going to take a few days work, and there's also a lot of stuff to edit, so bear with me. So there we are, that was it really. Let's go back to the folder, just give you a little bit of context on that. These things are all mainly in Sol 677, but there are a couple of things there from Sol 50 I showed you. So I'll put the links below. What else could it be other than some kind of creature? I mean, look at it. Look at the eye. And it's not the only example. This is one of well over 100 of these. What is it? Is it some kind of bull or cow type thing, or is it something very different? Don't know. Thanks for watching. See you soon.